Welcome to the channel Masters of Consciousness. In today's episode, we will focus on the figure of an extraordinary teacher, a spiritual guide, whose words and actions changed the face of the world. We are talking about a master who was called Jesus. His life and teachings carry timeless wisdom that, regardless of era, culture, or religion, speaks to the hearts and consciences of people seeking truth, love, and the deep meaning of existence. What distinguished this master was not only what he said, but above all, how he lived. His life was a perfect lesson, not a theory but a practice of spiritual presence. At the center of everything he conveyed was love. However, it was not just about warm feelings or attachment. It was about a deeply transformative power that heals, forgives, and unites. Unconditional love, for others, for oneself, for life. This was his answer to the suffering, violence, and confusion of the world. He believed that true transformation of a person does not begin externally, but internally. He did not call for changes in systems, governments, or religions. He pointed the way to changing the heart. He spoke of a kingdom not of this world, which is not somewhere far away, but is within a person. This kingdom signifies inner peace, harmony, unity with what is greater than ourselves. To find it, nothing more is needed, just to stop, quiet down, and look inward. In his teachings, he emphasized authenticity. He warned against pretending, appearances, and religious rituals without spirit. He cared about truth, the truth that is alive, present here and now. According to him, truth is not a set of dogmas, but an experience. It is a moment of awakening, when a person begins to see the world not through the lens of fear or divisions, but through the eyes of love and compassion. When he met people, he looked into their hearts, not at their status, wealth, or past. He saw in every person a divine spark, regardless of how fallen, lost, or rejected they were. He brought acceptance where judgment previously reigned. He brought light where there was darkness before. His approach to people was revolutionary because he broke stereotypes and social conventions. He sat at the table with those others avoided. He talked to outcasts, touched the sick, forgave those others dismissed. He showed that no person is too far from the light to return to it. Everyone deserves a second chance. Everyone carries the potential for transformation. He often emphasized that it is not the ideal or religious ones who are closest to the truth, but those who are authentic, contrite, and open. He emphasized the immense power of forgiveness, not as an obligation but as an inner liberation. Forgiveness is not only to make the other person feel better, it primarily heals the one who forgives.
Not holding a grudge, not carrying anger inside. This is an expression of true freedom. He believed that as long as we feed on the past, hurt, revenge, we are imprisoned.
Forgiveness opens the door to living fully. He did not teach fear of God. On the contrary, he spoke of a relationship based on trust, love, and closeness. God was not a distant judge for him, but in presence like a good father, like a light that does not condemn but shows the way. This approach changed everything. It gave people strength, hope, and a sense that they are not alone. He encouraged not to seek value in transient things, not in wealth, not in power, not in the recognition of others. He taught simplicity, not as renunciation, but as freedom from excess. When a person ceases to be dependent on external things, they regain contact with themselves. The peace of mind he proposed did not depend on circumstances. It was a state of being rooted in what is true, deep, unchanging. At the center of his teachings was the second person, not as a rival, enemy, or obstacle, but as a mirror and teacher. He said to love not only those who love us, but also those who hurt us, because it is in such moments that our awareness grows. It is easy to be good when everything goes according to our wishes. The difficulty begins where resistance appears, and it is precisely there that true spirituality begins. He did not give ready-made answers, but asked questions. He provoked thinking, reflection, and introspection. His wisdom was not a set of rules but a path that leads from fear to love, from judgment to understanding, from illusion to truth. He pointed out that the greatest miracles do not happen outside, but inside a person, healing the heart, transforming the way of thinking, stepping out of darkness towards light. These are true signs of power. Sometimes people expected spectacular proofs from him, but his true strength lay in subtlety. He transformed souls quietly. He showed that everyone has the potential within to become a light for the world. He emphasized the importance of mindfulness, being here and now. He taught that life happens in this very moment, not in the past, which no longer exists, nor in the future, which has not yet arrived. When a person truly becomes present, they begin to see things as they are, without fear, without prejudice. Mindfulness is the first step to awakening. He was not interested in creating a religion. His goal was not to build structures, but to reach the heart. He showed a path that anyone can follow, regardless of what they believe or what their tradition is called. True spirituality, according to him, transcends divisions. It does not ask about labels, but about intention. Do you love? Do you forgive? Are you genuine? He paid special attention to what happens in the human mind. He knew that how we perceive the world creates our reality. When the mind is filled with fear, anxiety, and judgment, even the most beautiful experiences do not bring solace. But when the heart is pure, when thoughts flow with love, everything begins to fall into place. Change your way of thinking. Your life changes. He taught that serving others is an expression of the highest strength, not weakness. Those who can humble themselves help notice those in need. They come closer to the truth. It was not about heroic deeds, but about daily presence, about being a good person where you are. True spirituality is expressed not in words, but in how you treat another person, in how you react when no one is watching. He did not promise that life would be easy. On the contrary, he emphasized that the road of the heart often leads through difficult moments. But it is precisely these moments that shape our soul. In suffering, one can find depth. In doubt, faith, and in silence, answers. Life is not meant to be lived without pain, but to learn to love despite everything. The deepest message he conveyed was hope. Even in the face of death, there was no bitterness or fear in him. He carried light until the very end, believing that love is stronger than death, that the human soul does not end at the moment of the last breath. He reminded us that what is most important is invisible, and it is precisely for this that it is worth dedicating your life. In his presence, people felt noticed, important, loved, not for what they have, but for who they are. This experience of genuine acceptance changed them from within. Those who spoke with him often couldn't describe it, but they felt that something in them was opening, something was awakening. It was a meeting not only with another person, but with a deeper dimension of oneself. He did not shy away from difficult topics. He did not promise a life without pain, but taught how to go through that pain with dignity, how to find meaning in experiences that seemingly have no meaning. He showed that every experience, even the most painful, can be a path to greater understanding, to greater compassion. For him, spirituality was not something to be acquired, achieved, or proven. It was rather a reminder that we already are what we seek, that deep inside we have everything: peace, love, connection with what is greater than ourselves. We just need to stop running away, stop hiding, stop pretending. We need to return to ourselves. This message, though simple, requires courage, because to live truly, one must abandon masks. To love, one must open the heart, risking being hurt. To forgive, one must transcend pride. But within all this lies true freedom, the freedom that is not given by the external world, but the one that flows from within. In conclusion, it is worth remembering that the teachings of this master are not a collection of historical stories. They are a living path that can still transform human lives. You don't have to be religious to understand them. It's enough to be human. It's enough to want to live a little more consciously, a little more with the heart. Thank you for being with us in this episode of Masters of Consciousness. If what you heard touched your heart, share it with others. Let's plant a seed of awareness together that may sprout in many souls. Subscribe so you don't miss future meetings with spiritual wisdom. See you in the next episode. Peace be with you.